In a moment that has since exploded across media circles, the ever-charming yet razor-sharp Graham Norton took aim at Meghan Markle during a segment on the Graham Norton Show, calling out her podcast with Jamie Kern Lima as total crap. What initially appeared to be a subtle jab quickly morphed into a scathing dissection of Markle's public persona, her brand-building efforts, and the hollow narratives she's been accused of pushing under the guise of empowerment and vulnerability. Norton's unscripted critique has reignited conversations about the credibility of Markle's media ventures and whether her carefully curated public image is finally beginning to crack under pressure. Norton, a veteran broadcaster known for his wit and measured sarcasm, rarely indulges in overt criticism. So when he described Meghan's latest podcast episode as another performative, self-absorbed attempt to manipulate public sympathy, ears perked up. His reaction came after a clip from the Markle-Kern Lima podcast made its rounds on social media, showcasing yet another instance where Meghan, seemingly detached from broader realities, centered the conversation on herself. For Norton to publicly dismantle the Duchess's media content so directly marked a significant shift in public sentiment from soft scrutiny to open skepticism. Markle's collaboration with Jamie Kern Lima, a self-made entrepreneur and founder of IT Cosmetics, was intended to explore themes of self-worth, resilience, and female empowerment. Yet, according to Norton and an increasing number of critics, it failed to move beyond surface-level storytelling. Instead of creating space for authentic dialogue, the episode was peppered with Meghan's now predictable narratives, stories of how misunderstood she's been, how hard royal life was, and how, despite her privilege and platform, she continues to struggle for recognition. At best, it sounded rehearsed. At worst, it came off as calculated PR, wrapped in buzzwords like healing and truth. Listeners were quick to echo Norton's disdain. On forums like Reddit and X, formerly Twitter, users criticized Markle's incessant rehashing of personal grievances. It's like she's trying to be Oprah without having done the work, one comment read. Others pointed out the glaring irony of a multimillionaire with global influence speaking about being silenced or excluded. The issue, many believe, is not that Markle shares her experiences, but rather how she frames them as uniquely hers, dismissing or overlooking broader perspectives in favor of painting herself as a martyr of fame and royalty. This isn't the first time Meghan's ventures have been labeled inauthentic or opportunistic. Her Netflix docuseries with Prince Harry and Meghan was marketed as a deep dive into their truth, but critics noted its polished tone and overly choreographed feel. Then came Archetypes, a podcast series promising to challenge the stereotypes women face, yet often ending up as a platform for Markle to ruminate on her personal struggles, rarely inviting dissenting or critical voices. Each new project seems less like a contribution to meaningful discourse and more like another carefully planned step in a long-term brand strategy. Meghan, the misunderstood changemaker. Graham Norton's remarks may have been blunt, but they captured a growing exhaustion with what many now see as Meghan's overexposure and lack of substance. And coming from someone like Norton, respected, balanced, and typically diplomatic, those comments carried weight. He didn't just critique the podcast. He called into question the authenticity of Markle's entire media presence. Was it ever really about advocacy, or was it always about control over her own narrative at all costs? What makes Norton's dissection particularly biting is the context. He operates in the same industry Meghan is trying to dominate. His success lies in real connection, unscripted, engaging, often self-deprecating. His guests, even the most famous, are drawn into relaxed conversations, not PR campaigns. When he compared Markle's content to packaged empathy with a side of ego, it wasn't just an insult, it was a challenge. A challenge to anyone willing to call shallow storytelling inspirational. As the dust settles on this latest controversy, one thing is clear: Meghan Markle's media credibility is at a crossroads. She can either reevaluate her approach, step out of the echo chamber, and invite genuine dialogue, or continue down a path increasingly marked by disillusioned listeners, critical commentators, and biting feedback from voices like Graham Norton. The world isn't asking her to be silent, it's asking her to be real. And for once, it seems that demand isn't going away quietly. The problem, many argue, is that Meghan has become so entangled in her own narrative that she's lost touch with the audience she claims to represent. Her repeated emphasis on personal hardship, framed in glossy podcast soundbites and meticulously edited interviews, feels increasingly disconnected from the broader struggles faced by the people she aims to inspire. While vulnerability is often applauded in public figures, it rings hollow when used as a repeated promotional tool, especially by someone whose lifestyle and platform are so far removed from the average listener's reality. Norton's scathing commentary may have simply said what much of the public has been feeling, that Meghan's media presence often prioritizes image over insight. And that's a dangerous game in an age when authenticity drives engagement and trust. Her critics aren't asking her to disappear, they're asking her to evolve. There's still a space for Meghan Markle in public discourse, but it can't be one built solely on grievance, control, and brand narrative. If she doesn't pivot, she risks becoming a caricature of what she once promised to challenge, a figure so preoccupied with controlling the message that she forgets to actually say something meaningful.